Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shaunneka and today I will be guiding you through a yin yoga practice to embrace the renewal of spring. It is a great time to focus on opening ourselves up, opening up our hearts to really invite in this new energy and to really invigorate us to go forward. So for today's practice, we are going to take a moment to ground ourselves before we come into our postures. We'll do some brief breath work. You can sit on a block or you can sit on a pillow. And for the remaining of the practice, you might want to have 2 blocks handy because we will use them towards the end of the practice. So we will go ahead and get started, finding a comfortable seated position. I'm actually going to sit on my pillow for this one. And I'm just sitting at the edge of the pillow. So finding a comfortable seated position. And of course, if sitting is uncomfortable, you can do this laying down. So let's close the eyes, or of course, soften the gaze. Let's take a giant inhale as you draw the shoulders up towards the ears. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then on the exhale, draw the shoulders down and away from the ears and down the back. Trying to maintain this nice tall spine. Trying to relax the toes. The thighs, the groin. Inviting a little softness to the belly. Allowing the arms to be heavy. Relaxing the fingers. And really trying to soften all expression on the face. Paying close attention to the jaw, the eyes. Bringing your awareness inside. And by that I just mean to focus on the breath. And really just trying to switch gears here. Trying not to think about things that stress you out. Really just allowing the mind to coast. So I'll guide you through a breathing technique. You can follow along or continuing with the natural rhythm of your own breath. So I'll just demonstrate how we'll do the first one. We'll take a nice big inhale and hold the breath at the top. And while we're at the top, you want to hold the breath but soften everything around the rib cage. So soften the shoulders, the arms, and just sustain the breath here. And then on the exhale, we'll exhale out of the nose. And just know that everyone's rhythm is going to be different. So maybe you're moving a little bit faster than me, a little bit slower than me. We're going to do 4 and we'll do the last one together. So nice big inhale. Sustain and soften. And exhale out of the nose. Inhale. Sustain and soften. And exhale. Inhale. Sustain and soften. This time on your exhale, imagine you're melting into yourself. Last one, inhale. Hold it here, soften. This time, open the mouth and sigh it out. Just take these few moments to allow the breath to come back to its natural rhythm. And taking this time to set your intention for your practice. Or maybe you'd like to dedicate this practice to someone. Maybe someone you're grateful for, or maybe someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Sending them your good intentions for the new season. And very gently from here, with the eyes closed, you're going to take your hands and grab a hold of opposite shoulders. We're going to curl in. We're just going to make some small circles, so rolling over towards the right knee, down the center, around to the left, and back up. Just do 3 big circles in this direction. And we'll switch directions. And I want to imagine like you're a pendulum just swaying from side to side, trying not to control the movement. One more here. Gently coming all the way back up. And gently opening the eyes. So the winter time, we sort of maybe felt this feeling of maybe feeling stuck or closed in. And so now we get to embrace the openness that we're going to experience in our yin practice. And we are going to come into our heart openers. So the first posture we will be coming into is Sphinx. So coming onto your belly. Bringing your feet as wide as your mat and coming up onto your forearms. And so you want to make sure that your shoulders are in line with your elbow. You can have your palms together if that feels more comfortable, or slightly turning your palms to the top two corners of your mat. And then pull your chest through. So imagine you're pulling your elbow points back towards your hip points to open up the chest just a little bit more. Everything below the waist is nice and soft. And if you are feeling any pinching in the low back, I'd invite you to stack palm on palm and bring the forehead down. Nice deep breaths into the belly. I always like to make some neck rotations here. Of course, reversing those circles in the opposite direction. Coming into our last few breaths here. If you want to try this out for the last few breaths, you can bend the knees. Take our last two breaths here. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently lower the legs if they were bent. Open the elbows out wide. And just allow the forehead to rest on stacked palms. Lifting the gaze, setting ourselves up for seal. So in seal, we are going to take our hands to the top two corners of the mat, push into the palms and straighten the arms. Again, everything below the waist is nice and soft, but you still want your hip points on the floor. You don't want your hips off of the mat. Everything below the waist again is soft, and you also have the option, if sustaining on your palms is a little too much, you can also maybe bring your forearms to blocks and drawing the shoulders away from the ears and down the back. So finding what works for you. Coming into our last few breaths here. Maybe you walk your hands in a little bit closer. It's up to you. But again, try not to squeeze the glutes. Last 2 breaths, and when you take these breaths, really try to bring the breath right up into the chest, right up underneath the armpits. Inhale here. And sigh it out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Gently lower all the way down onto your forearms. Stack palm on palm and let the forehead rest. And as you lay here, thinking about breathing into your low back. So it might be feeling a little bit tender. Let's gently lift the gaze, push into our palms. We're going to counterbalance all of that now with a child's pose. So coming all the way up, find that tabletop. Bring your knees nice and wide and your big toes to touch at the back of the mat. Send your hips back towards your heels. And for today's child's pose, we're going to bring our elbows, to the mat. And when you bring your elbow to the mat, think about drawing the skin of your elbow back. So elbows come to the floor. You can bring your hands to prayer. As you drop your chest down and through, pointing your fingers up towards the ceiling, or you can stack palm on palm just below the neck. You might need to inchworm your elbows forward again and then pull back. So feeling a nice opening in the underarm. Let's take a nice big inhale. Inside out. Again, inhale. And exhale. Gently, if you had your hands onto your upper back, bring them back up, straighten the arms. And walk your hands back in. Just stay here elevated on your forearms for a moment. Up through center. This is where you want to grab your blocks, finding ourselves in a supported fish. This is how I'm going to place my blocks. Maybe you are going to place it a different way for today. But for today, this is what I'm going to do. Normally, this is how I set it up. I have the first block on its highest height, second block, second highest height, and then I sit in front of this block as my head rests on this block here. But for today, I'm going to turn them both on the second highest height. I'm going to come to sit in front. I just find that this one's a little bit more deep for me. And you want to place the top tips of the block at the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. So where your bra strap ladies would be. Once you found that sweet spot, bringing your head to rest on the first block. take some maneuvering. Once you do find it, you will know. For today, I'm bringing the soles of my feet to touch, and I'm bringing my arms out nice and wide. And while you're here, you want to think about dropping your shoulders away from your ears so everything just kind of melts or sinks back into the blocks. This is a great way to open up through the chest, the shoulders, the inseam of the arms, the throat. But it might also be making you feel maybe a little bit vulnerable, which is normal. We're opening ourselves up. Winter is a season where you may have felt constricted or closed in. And with spring and renewal, we embrace the openness. You can think of it as your blooming season. And so before we make our way off the blocks and onto the floor, let's take a nice big cleansing breath. So we're going to take a nice big inhale and bring the breath right up into the chest. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Let's do one more just like that. And on the exhale, really try to make it audible. Inhale. And exhale. If you had your feet in butterfly, let's go ahead and extend one leg as you roll to one side, digging your elbow into the floor to remove the blocks. And come to lay all the way down onto your back. And to maintain the integrity in our spine, let's bend our elbows, push them into the floor, pick up your chest, draw your shoulders away from the ears, down the back, and set yourself back down onto the mat. Just enjoying all those sensations. Bringing to mind the intention you set at the beginning of practice, or bringing to mind that person whom you dedicated your practice to. Slowly from here, beginning to call ourselves back, wiggling the fingers, the toes, rotating the ankles, the wrists. Let's go ahead and reach the arms up overhead for a nice long body stretch. Reach, 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 reach. And on the exhale, let it go. Bend the knees. Let's draw the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Gentle rock from side to side. I'm going to find a brief twist. Dropping both knees to the right. Gentle gaze to the left. Come back through center, other side, drop both knees to the left. Gentle gaze to the right. Coming back through center. Bringing the soles of the feet to the floor. Extend one arm up and roll onto your side. Just cradle the head and the upper arm here for a moment. And gently pushing yourself up to a seat, keeping the eyes closed if you can. So humbly bow your chin in towards your chest, bringing your hands to heart center. Taking a moment here, feeling the breath on your fingertips. Thank you for practicing with me today. I hope this yin yoga practice has allowed you to embrace the renewal of spring by opening yourself up and inviting in that new energy. I hope you have a wonderful blooming season. And if you did enjoy today's practice, always remembering to leave me a comment, like, subscribe, share, and I will see you back here again soon. Have a wonderful day.